Welcome to the Board Game Snobs podcast. Critically harsh reviews with a touch of class.
And go.
Welcome to the Board Game Snobs podcast. This is not Dan nor Bubba. This is I, the star of the show.
Jerry, nice to have you
Thank
here.
you for introducing me like a host should. And with me, you're the host.
You always mix it up, and I never know where you're going to go.
Hey!
You keep me on my toes.
That's what you do. Not like Bubba or Dan. Why do you keep having those guys on there?
People like them.
Right? People do love them.
They like to hear them.
Way more than me. I'm glad I'm enjoying my semi-retirement from the podcast. Even though I'd still do 75% of the shows, or 80. More like 90. It's only occasionally.
You've been missing. And I've been missing you. And me and Bubba talked a little bit about you last week, and then we proceeded on with the show.
I don't know if you even know me. Because you said that I would not like this IPA. This is delightful.
Really? You don't usually like hazy
Voodoo
IPAs.
Ranger. Juice Force.
I think you might enjoy also the 9.5% of it all.
IPA. Hazy Imperial. Oh, that's why I like it. Because it's Imperial.
You like that?
I'm pro.
You love imperialism.
I'm pro the Empire.
You're all about from Darth Vader to Queen Elizabeth I.
Do it. Do it. That's what Constantine? No.
Constantinople.
Palpatine. We don't talk about Palpatine.
What is Constantinople? That's a place.
It's Istanbul.
That's another.
They got sacked a lot.
Really?
You don't know about the
behind the line of scrimmage?
Yes. You don't know about the sacking of Constantinople?
Was that by the Romans?
No, it was
Nero. No, the guy who rode the elephants.
That was Hermione's. that's the
Hermione.
The Hermione
Off of Harry Potter.
That's how she got him.
She come in riding a horse, riding an elephant.
No, you're thinking of Hannibal.
Hannibal.
No,
Lecter.
Hang on. No.
Right after he ate his fava beans,
I ate the liver with a good IPA and a fava bean. Who sacked Constantinople?
Why is it sacked?
Because that sounds cool. The sack of Constantinople happened.
The sack?
Yes, it does. Sack of Constantinople. I'm reading it correctly. Happened on my birthday in April 1204. The sack of Constantinople marked the culmination of the Fourth Crusade. I knew it had something to do with the Crusade. Let's see. It was in the capital of the Byzantine Empire, and the Pope had something to do with it.
It doesn't say who did it yet.
Well, the Christians, the Crusades.
Christian who?
The people.
Soul Train.
A Crusader army.
Slater.
Fourth Crusade of the Fourth Crusade. Yes.
It really was like a bunch of guys named Christian. Just come in. Hey, I'm Christopher Smith, first of the blacksmiths.
This is the last thing you want to have is a bunch of Chads come sack your town.
I went from Christian to Christopher. I switched it and didn't even realize it.
That's okay.
Christians. A bunch of Christians.
But the thing is, when you're drinking a 9.5 IPA, it all sounds good. I like this. I like the voodoo. Little ranger, little skeleton guy with the little...
Yeah, it's like their mascot.
I like him. He's got a little ranger hat on. Not a ranger hat. He's got a...
It's like a
fighter pilot.
Yeah,
fighter pilot. Hat. And it's from Belgium.
A Belgian fighter pilot.
I love Belgium. Not Bruges.
I
don't think Belgium has an air force.
Is Van Damme's Belgium, right?
Does Belgium...
I think he's the muscles for Brussels.
Air force.
Right?
Brussels, I think, would be Dutch. You know how I feel about the Dutch. Yes, they do have an air force. The Belgium... Did they have fighter jets?
Are they part of the Luftwaffles? Belgian waffles.
Yes, their first fighter jet just came out a few years ago from Fort Worth, apparently. They have
Texas built the Dutch first fighter jet. What?
They got a
Oh, my.
Belgium Air Force tweets. Official account of the Belgium. Now, listen, I want you to know I'm not making fun.
What are they tweeting about?
The official account of Van des Belschlagen. Lashmark. The Lushmark.
So, Belgium is similar in sound dialect to German, right?
No, I don't know. Their first pinned comment from December of 2023, our first Lightning II fighter jet rolled out of the factory in Fort Worth, Texas, after a year and a half of production. The F-35A, fifth generation fighter. They're all about that.
You know what? You guarantee they better not go against war, go in war against Texas.
Yeah,
They got a backdoor button to that jet in there somewhere.
Flying a Texan plane. There you go. It's just, what is this? Why does this?
It's just there. They've installed a small plot hole device. If you shoot about the size of a womp rat, shoot right into that jet, it blows right up.
They got this plane built in Texas. Where did they get it built at? It smells
Tyson chicken.
faintly of Bud Light and fried chicken. Okay, so good for them for having a Twitter account.
Speaking of nations going at each other, let's keep the Olympics talk going, even though me and Bubba happen to skip it. So the Olympics are over.
No, are they?
They're done.
I'll tell you what's not over.
And Dan had to message me on the Messenger.
Yeah.
Not the movie, about Joan of Arc. Did you watch that one?
I haven't. She's French.
It was the lady, yeah. It was the lady that was also fought lots of post-apocalyptic Rainbow Umbrella Corporation.
The Russian gal.
Oh, what's her name?
I know her. I'll find it for you. Russian.
Anyway, she played Joan of Arc.
No, she's an awful actress.
She's not good, but she's sufficient. She was good as Lilu in Fifth Element. Mia Jovovich.
What is the name of the zombie film thing? I can't remember. Resident Evil. Sorry, I'm sitting here trying to think of it. I knew it was somewhere.
So my point was,
her name is Mila Jovovich.
Why did I go off on her all of a sudden? Anyway, Dan messaged. Oh, yeah, the messenger, and he's like, basically saying,
she's Ukrainian, by the way.
Great Britain came in second.
She's born in Kiev, Ukraine.
Oh, she's Ukrainian.
Yeah.
What did I say she was? A Ukrainian playing a French girl. She played Joan of Arc.
Yeah, she's Ukrainian American.
Huh. Maybe Joan of Arc was Ukrainian French.
Nope. Joan of Arc was
Wasn't she like 14?
I don't know.
She was super young for whatever she
Joan of Arc,
did.
the patron saint of France, honored as defender of the French. She was born in France. She died in France. The cause of death,
her own people
burning.
Yes,
she got burned.
That was not good.
She was only 5'2".
She was a short little lady.
What happened when she was 13? She began to hear voices, which determined she had been sent by God to give her a mission of overwhelming importance,
which is now diagnosed as schizophrenia.
These voices told her to do productive things, to save France by expelling its enemies and then install.
Hey, if you're going to have voices, at least have them tell you to do. Make your bed.
Make your bed.
Wouldn't
that be great?
Do some push-ups.
Some useful voices in your head.
You haven't drank enough water today.
I
need some voices like that.
Your 401k. Start one. Things of that nature.
So anyway,
actually, more of a Roth IRA. RIL.
Dan was bragging about Britain's total of 65 total medals, and again, I don't care. But Dan likes to rub things in faces, and 14 golds. But he was bragging because the United States came in. Of course, they had twice as many athletes, a much larger.
They tied China for the most gold.
But Dan was saying you got one medal per 2.6 million people. So he was at home doing math just to stick it to me on this one.
The United States came out with the most overall medals.
But he says you got one medal per 2.6 million people. We got one medal per 1.03 million people.
Doesn't matter. It's how many medals.
A win's a win.
Win's a win.
So,
We can't help it that y'all focus on weird stuff like breakdancing. Who won breakdancing?
That was the Australians.
No, that was Ray
I don't know who won.
I'm looking it up.
But Ray Gun's the winner in our hearts.
That is, I'm watching that every day just to keep me in the right.
I actually haven't seen it. I've only seen the memes, etc.
Let's see. Breakdancing highlights. Looks like results. They all have like weird. They do the breakdancing names.
I don't know. I'm not in that world.
B-Boy Victor of Team USA takes bronze.
So now dancing is a sport?
He lost to B-Boy Danny Dan, the Frenchman.
Isn't dancing an artistic form? What other artistic forms are we allowing in the gymnastics? They have the rhythmic gymnastics.
I love rhythmic gymnastics.
With the ribbon?
Yes. Anything that you add a ribbon to, if you put up, listen, if I come over to your house and you've got a banner or a ribbon or a sash somewhere, that makes an event special. If you give somebody a sash, like dawning, like a mayor or something. Ribbons just make everything better. Putting ribbons on stuff, NASCAR, they wave the flag, the checkered flags. Everything's about, yes. It just makes things better.
That's a flag, not a ribbon.
Well, it's cloth. It's stringy cloth.
They pin a ribbon on you?
Yes. As the French dictator Napoleon said, men will die for this little cut of ribbon or something like that. Talking about medals. People do crazy things just for ribbons. That is still the case today. I was paraphrasing that quote.
I'm not looking it up.
He said something about that. Pretty sure. We're on the French a lot. Whereas I'm on this new Belgian Voodoo Ranger. I like this. Juice Force. Even like the name of it.
Juice Force. If there's a force I'm going to join,
that's the force.
It's not going to be the naval. It's not going to be the air. I'll join the Juice Force,
Everybody
though.
in there with their Breville juicers. I have a Bevel juicer. Those are super expensive. I was really into juicing for a while.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Steroids, huh?
Not
THC.
steroids. I was doing the juice fasts because I was into every fad of diet.
Well, that was like the big thing. And then, of course, as in dieting, as in a lot of that science, it's like, oh, this is amazing for you. 3 years later, oh, no, that's worthless.
No, it is.
Because you're not getting what you really need is the pulp.
Here's what benefited me. I was not one to eat salad or greens or anything of that nature. So I thought, I'll just juice.
Just drink it.
And I did. And then finally, when I realized this is crazy, I could just be eating this stuff instead of wasting my time, I started eating it. And by then, I'd gotten the taste. And that's it. It completely changed. I had hardly ate any salad or anything.
You're still not a big salad eater.
Huh?
You're still not a big salad eater.
I used to be a no salad eater.
Yeah.
Now I am I eat salad.
Because whenever you get a burger, you're like, cut the lettuce, cut the tomatoes.
No, I don't like my burgers. We've had this discussion. I don't like anything on my burgers but the meat. That's it. Cheese, meat, whatever condiment. I don't do the salad. I want my salad on the side. You, on the other hand, I like everything all mixed together. I don't want that. I want certain things mixed together separately. Does that make sense? You can eat a burger to enjoy the meat. You eat a salad to enjoy the texture and that feel. I don't want those two things put together, but I do like a good salad.
I love
not
salad.
With my meat. I don't even like chicken in salad.
I like it all.
I don't.
I will eat almost everything.
Yeah.
You held back on that one, didn't you? That's all part of the nicer Jerry that we've seen here lately.
That's a tumor coming back. It's coming against me. It's coming to get me. It's growing.
Did you know?
The tumor was on the bed remarks. Go ahead. I did know.
This is from March 24, 2009. So this is an old story, but I just came across
2009 was a slapping year for me.
Parrot gets award for warning about choking tot. Tot as in not tater.
Were they choking on a tater?
But small child tot. Now, it would have been interesting if the tot was choking on a tot.
That's what I just
said.
Not
another small child.
That's what I said.
But a piece of potato.
One mean kid choking the other one out. You took my candy.
So it says...
Let me go, Dakota. He's just choking this kid out. His dad knows jujitsu and he's watched him too many times.
A parrot whose cries of alarm...
Would you fight a 4-year-old?
Huh?
A 4-year-old.
It's not a fight. There's no reason to
How
fight
old's
it.
the kid that choked?
Well, it just says toddler.
All right, let's say he's 4. Let's say 5. I'll do 5.
Toddlers are not 4 and 5.
Yeah, they are.
No, you're the one with kids, not me.
Hey.
Toddlers are like 1.5, 2, 2.5. When I was 4 years old, I was going to school. I'm not a toddler.
Hang on, Siri. Definition of toddler is a person who toddles. What's that?
So helpful.
All right, from 1 to 3. 1 to 3.
Booyah!
Okay, so exactly I said 4. I overshot it. So I overshot.
4 is too much.
Let's say 3-year-old. You walk into your home, and there's a 3-year-old standing in your living room with a knife.
It's not a fight. It's
He's
a
coming
small
at
child.
You. Do you think you can get that knife away from him?
Okay, is it a child with no comprehension of what they're doing and they're just being a baby with a knife?
I don't know. This kid's coming to stab
then
you.
I would
like Chucky.
I could swiftly take it, away the knife because it's a child that doesn't know how to fight.
You tell that to Chucky. Chucky.
Now, see, now you're changing the tune. Chucky is not a child. It's a possessed doll. Him, I would fight.
But physically. he's equivalent to a 3-year-old.
You just kick him real hard, he'll go out.
You kick this 3-year-old?
No, because it's not a possessed doll. It's a small child.
No, this child is coming.
No, I would never cause harm to a small child. You're trying to entrap me.
I was just checking. I'm Chris Hansen.
You were checking on this checking. That's what I thought.
All right.
So this is saying this parrot whose cries of alarm alerted his owner, which is not true if you read the story, when a little girl choked on her breakfast, has been honored as a hero. Now, hopefully this parrot's still alive. Willie, a Quaker parrot. I know
why they got to bring religion into this. Go ahead.
Do they still exist?
I don't know.
The only reason I know Quakers, have you ever seen that movie? Was it Friendly Persuasion? Something Persuasion.
I think you're thinking of
Shenandoah.
Yeah.
There was a movie called Shenandoah.
Yeah.
And like the dad was a Quaker an old Civil War
That's what
movie.
they were all accusing.
Where did I get persuasion from?
I don't know. That would sound like
Friendly
a different
Persuasion?
Friendly Persuasion sounds like a different film. Sounds like it stars Sharon Stone.
Friendly Persuasions.
Editor-in-Chief Gabi here, just to break in real quick. Friendly Persuasion was indeed a 1956 American Civil War film starring Gary Cooper, Dorothy McGuire, Anthony Perkins, among others. And it was about the Quakers. It was about the Civil War, and he was part of the Quaker religion and how it conflicted with, of course, the war. Shenandoah was a James Stewart film from 1965, 9 years later. And that was just about the Civil War. I was indeed correct, but I doubted myself. I second-guessed myself. Friendly Persuasion is indeed a movie about Quakers in the Civil War.
But not Shenandoah. I know Shenandoah.
Hey, Jerry.
Friendly anyway.
Could I persuade you?
Let's get back on
rubbing my shoulders.
I just remember Dick Winters. They kept saying he was a Quaker in Band of Brothers. He's
in November, of course, of 2009, Willie's owner, Megan Howard, was babysitting for a toddler. Oh, okay. So she was babysitting a child, not hers.
And she brought her Mormon parrot with her.
Not Quaker. It's a Quaker.
Sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Never leave the house without it.
Yeah. Why you bring your parrot with you?
Howard left the room and the little girl, Hannah, started to choke on her breakfast. Willie repeatedly yelled, "Mama, baby." Okay, so first of all, birds can't yell.
They squawk.
It can squawk. It can chirp.
At what decibel is a yell? You can get pretty loud.
I don't know. That's
Get
another
pretty
question
loud.
for
They get
Siri.
pretty loud. Okay, I'm not going to take a hard stance on the do parrot.
When does
yell.
a squawk turn into a yell?
Much like the fighting baby stance that you took. You're anti-fighting babies.
I'm anti-fighting. Hey, you know what? Put me in the minority, I guess.
Send us an email, boardgamesnobs@gmail.com. You know you would deal with these babies.
As being anti-baby fighting.
And these Mennonite parrots.
Now, I'm not anti two babies fighting each other. That's up to them.
You would fight babies?
No, I would not. I wouldn't have
pair them against each other and pay money?
I wouldn't be like the Michael Vick of baby fighting.
Do you have an underground baby fighting arena?
Baby fighting rink?
Get them, Dakota. The little Kaylin that's in there.
Give them those teething rings.
Aiden. Get them, Aiden.
Hold them between your fingers now like this.
Fighting. Yeah, they show up with like the end of Liam Neeson and the Gray. The babies show up with tape pacifiers to their fists, broken baby bottles, and then fighting each other with their blankets.
Baby nipples everywhere. Not nipples. Bottle nipples.
Bottle nipples. I know what you're talking about.
Babies also, everybody has a nipple, actually.
Except us who don't.
Those of us who are nippleless.
Yes. Some of us are just, we were, listen.
Whatever. I've seen you. I know you have nipples. Okay,
You've
anyway.
Seen my nipples?
Okay, we're getting off track.
When have you seen?
I've seen your nipples.
Are you on my Instagram? How'd you find me on Instagram?
Howard saved Hannah by performing the Heimlich maneuver.
The bird? Oh, the bird's Willie. I'm sorry.
The bird's owner,
not the
Howard.
Pentecostal parrot,
not the Quaker parrot.
Quaker parrot.
But she credited Willie. Willie's the real hero.
How's Willie a hero?
This bird just made its typical noise. I doubt it said, "Hey, mama, baby." I mean, I guess some parrots can talk.
What was his parrot
That
watching this kid?
But they're not actually talking. They're
like he knew
parroting noises.
He knew you were choking.
Yeah, that's what they're insinuating in this story. That this bird is sentient enough to realize, oh, I see this.
This bird had
child
no
is
concept.
choking, so let me holler out to my owner, which he didn't get that right because it wasn't the mama. That was his owner.
Yeah.
He's captive to this woman.
Yeah.
Wouldn't call her mama.
Maybe he's calling her mama. That's his mama.
It's not.
That's weird.
What do they call that when you're captive and
The Stockholm syndrome.
Stockholm syndrome
This
bird.
is Stockholm syndrome bird, Willie.
And he just started calling his captor mama.
Stockholm Willie. That's a great name for a bird.
Good name for a band.
That's a good name for a hobo. Stockholm Willie.
The part where she turned blue is always when my heart drops, no matter how many times I've heard it. Says Hannah's mother, the actual mother of the baby.
Who was not home with her baby.
No, she entrusted her baby to a Quaker bird and a
incompetent
babysitter who walks away from the child while apparently it's eating.
As a parent, listen, all toddlers eat.
And
sometimes
I don't think that's breaking news.
Well, I'm just saying, this is a hard stance. Sometimes you walk away and you trust that they're not going to choke.
We're so desperate for... Willie got his award during a Breakfast of Champions event attended by Governor Bill Ritter and Mayor... The governor and the mayor...
Governor of where?
I don't know. This is like Colorado, I think.
So he was a Quaker.
Yeah, Denver, Colorado.
He was a Quaker.
The governor and mayor took the time out of their schedules. There's homeless people on the streets everywhere in Denver, but let's take some time to give this bird, who had no idea what it was actually doing, a medal.
I know we're sounding like we're really hard on Willie. I don't want to.
Please don't just the whole.
Listen to me. I don't want to denigrate the bird's actions. And thank God.
Tough on William.
That this turned out okay. I'm assuming they did the Heimlich and got the girl or the baby all right.
I'm glad this Mrs. Howard knew the Heimlich. I don't know. I don't think I could do the Heimlich.
The Heimlich done to you?
That's one, because I'm rather thick, but also I'm not sure I would know the proper. I know to get up underneath here, but I don't know that I would know the move enough to actually do it.
Yeah, just get up under the xiphoid process, which is the bottom of the breast plate. Just go up on them.
Okay,
it's not hard. If you got somebody you can't get your arms around, you jump on back of a chair, push them down, grab a chair. You can Heimlich yourself on a chair. It would have been more impressive if Willie was shouting out the Heimlich maneuver. Like that would got me. If you hear your pet gray parrot is in there 911 or something like that. Fun fact, when I was in the second grade, Gregory Nance, I don't know why I remember this kid's name, Gregory Nance, but he was perpetually bald. He never got hair. Like he was born with Captain Picard hair. Like it was receding.
That's unfortunate.
He choked on a hot dog sitting next to me. And I didn't realize what was going on. And I looked over and saw that he was kind of acting weird. And I patted him on the back. And while I'm patting him on the back, another student realized what was going on. They screamed. And anyways, this teacher came over and Heimlicked him successfully.
Hero. Did they have the mayor and the governor?
No.
Give them a award? No. Just did your job.
Did your job, Miss Elrod.
Not even your job. Like that's a secondary thing you should be aware to have to do, I guess, as a teacher.
Miss Elrod was cool.
I mean, that's like an EMT's job.
Yes.
But she happened to know it.
So I have a question for you. This was an argument me and my wife had this very morn.
Y'all shouldn't argue.
We were arguing, and we've not come to a conclusion. She hasn't come to a conclusion.
You come to a very strong conclusion.
Yeah, I had an opinion on this. While we were discussing various things in the news regarding heroism, her definition of a hero is so narrow and so specific that hardly anybody would qualify to be a hero.
So she doesn't consider you a healthcare hero, I'm guessing.
Correct. And so for our brief car ride this morning, I proceeded to have this conversation with her and list all the heroic actions I have ever taken. She proceeds to tell me why she does not feel that I am a hero. I even did the trick thing of telling her a story where I was like it happened to somebody else, and I was not the person in question. Like I was not the person acted, just to make sure that she was not just biased.
You gave a third person story.
Yes, but she was like, "No, that person's not a hero," and I was like, "Surprise! I am that person." And I was like, "She says, I know, but that doesn't change my mind." I was like, "Well, that was a very heroic."
Okay, so what is her definition of a hero?
It has to be somebody who is not acting impulsively, meaning if you just see something and you react to it, oh, this child's about to be run over, and you jumped out and push him out of the way. She doesn't think that's heroic. She says you have to understand the danger, understand what's about to happen, and then you decide to act in that nature. And it cannot be because you are an adrenaline junkie, quote unquote.
That would be you.
It has to be based on so your motive for doing the action has to come into play. So it's like before they can give you a medal and say you're a hero.
It's not something you want it to, like.
Yeah, it's like
so any firefighter is not a hero.
Basically. And I was like, so, like, do you think there are any professions? Hint that
so all the guys that died in 9/11 just doing their job.
No, they're just out there doing a job or just doing it because they're drilling junkies.
They loved it.
I brought up 9/11, as you well know.
Well,
a day does not go by that I don't bring up 9/11.
As if you were there.
I watched it on television. All right. Yes. So
hero by association.
Yes. And so I'm out there, and she's strong about this. You have to understand the danger and not be doing it for the wrong reasons or for self-glory or for anything of that nature. And I feel like that she is married to a hero, and because of that, she's so used to my heroic acts that it's become such a thing of this, like you're used to it. If you were married to Batman...
Well, but here's the...
not that I compare myself to Batman.
So does she consider Captain Sully Sullenberger a hero?
No, doing his job.
Because he was doing his job.
Because his life was on the line, too.
Right. What's he going to do?
Don't think I didn't bring up Sully, too, in this conversation, because I most certainly did.
Okay, so what is her idea of a hero?
Somebody who, like I said...
But does she have any examples?
She could not give me an example.
So no one has ever been a hero, ever.
Pretty much, if they call you a hero, in her mind, you are not a hero. If somebody says this person, blah, 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 they did this, she's like, no, they're not a hero. Were they being paid to do it? I'm like, well, some people act. She says, if they were expected to do it as part of their job, then they're not a hero.
So basically, all the real heroes we would know of are kind of nameless because...
Correct.
It's somebody that wasn't supposed to be there. It's not their job.
Not Willie.
They probably died in the process.
Yeah.
And we don't know who they were.
So basically, this parrot would be considered a hero by my wife's account because this parrot was just.
But it didn't. It had nothing to lose.
Yeah, this parrot could have kept his mouth shut, and his toddler could have died. So even then,
by her standard, though, the parrot was not a hero, though.
No, I guess
because it had nothing to lose.
I guess. Yeah, you're right.
I'm trying to think of who's. So it would be just somebody that's like.
Nah. My wife does not value.
I would think. What I'm trying
to say is my wife does not value any of my accomplishments, nor the shirts that proclaim me to be a hero.
As much as you proclaim it yourself,
I don't proclaim it.
She hasn't bought into it.
People have told me, and I've had to do the thing of like, I'm not a hero. I say that in conversation with people. I don't
even when they're not talking about it.
Once we're talking at work about something, I'll be like, I don't.
Hey Jerry, you want some pizza? Look, guys. I'm not a hero.
I don't think
nobody said you were, Jerry.
I don't think of myself that way. Never considered myself.
I'm just a man. I put my pants on.
Pants on one leg at a time.
You could do both legs at a time. If you sit on your bed, lean back.
I jump into them. That's part of my calisthenics
morning routine.
But I'll tell you who is a hero. I can name two heroes.
Who?
And now a hard merge into board games.
Lewis and Clark.
From Smallville?
No, from the expedition that went from St. Louis to Clap.
It is awful close to Lois and Clark. But Lois was not from Smallville. She was from Metropolis.
What was Lois doing?
She's a reporter.
I know, but the actress that played Lois. I never watched the...
From Lois and Clark?
Yeah, I didn't watch her. What's the Team Dean?
She was
Tim Dean. What's his name? James Dean? What was it?
Dean Cain.
Dean Cain. I didn't watch that Superman, but
because it was pretty terrible.
But I knew about it, and every time it would come on television, I would see that and think, she's very attractive. And then I'd see him and like, he's very attractive.
Mm-hmm.
They picked both of those people because they're just very attractive. Would there be an unattractive Superman?
There should not be.
You wouldn't.
Because he's basically the idealistic,
But
perfect man. Even though he's never described as perfect, we just assign him perfection in our minds, even though he's a comic book character, because he's super fast, super strong.
may I
Can fly.
offer this? That alien planet that blew up in Iron Man or whatever, or Steel Man, What's the name? The Steel Man. What is that called? What was the Superman movie?
Man of Steel?
Steel. That's right. The other aliens?
The man that doesn't move. Steel Man.
The man who makes your arguments better. Steel Man. And his brother, Straw Man. What if Michael Shannon was sent to Earth instead of Henry Cavill? Now you have an ugly Superman.
How dare you?
He is not attractive.
He's unique looking.
He's unique, like Steve Buscemi's unique. He's one of my favorite actors, and I can say that.
Beauty's in the eye of the beholder.
Well, I behold him as atrociously...
Wow.
He's just look at him, but he's interesting. You look at him at the same time. I'll tell you what, he is what, what's his name will look like when he's older. The guy from SNL that dates everybody, the ugly guy.
Oh, yeah. Pete Townsend.
Whose dad died 9/11. Also
Pete
a hero.
Townsend. Also
Pete
a hero.
Townsend. See, he talked about
No, but his dad was a firefighter, not a hero, according to your wife.
I bet she
That's
doesn't
harsh.
like Pete either.
I hope she's ready for some harsh emails.
I bet she does. She will not read them. She's just now got on Facebook. Send us emails. Hate emails. I'll forward them on to my wife. BoardGameSnobs@gmail.com.
The most attractive
What is your definition of a hero?
Superman Clark Kent is a tie between Christopher Reeve and Henry Cavill.
Henry Cavill is almost perfection in almost everything he does.
And I think he probably wins it just because of the musculature over Christopher Reeve. Christopher Reeve looked 80s good.
Yes. Henry is ungodly good. He's
kind of godly
in
good.
a way.
Like,
Greek.
although he's got a receding hairline, but he is 40-something years old.
Is his hair going
just
back?
ever so slightly. I mean, he's
That's
aging.
still good. You want that as an actor.
I mean, if I could choose his looks over mine, I might go with his.
I don't know. You don't want that pressure.
I don't want the pressure.
You don't want the pressure. So,
but
speaking of heroes, not the sandwich. Calm down. Lewis and Clark, the expedition. I can't remember exactly what they did besides go from St. Louis, where the Ark is, the Arch, not Joan of Arc, but the Ark.
Or Noah's.
Yeah, they went there. They jumped off there and they Oregon Trailed it. Before it was the Oregon Trail, they made the trail, I'm assuming.
I'm guessing they were the first footsteps.
This happened a long time ago.
Besides the indigenous people along the way, they no doubt slaughtered.
They were, no.
Do we know?
I know, I don't.
Nobody knows.
Who knows? You're correct.
I'm telling you, every person that through history we have looked up to, they're going to be terrible people.
You don't know this. I watched a Lewis and Clark documentary starring Matthew Perry and it was Chris Farley's last movie. Did you ever watch that?
Wagons East?
No,
Is
Chris
that it?
Farley's last movie.
I thought it was Wagons East.
Is that the name of it? I'm sorry, I got to look it up because it was Matthew Perry, R.I.P. and Chris Farley.
I didn't realize they played that.
Oh, you never watched it?
No, I did not. It wasn't like a very great movie.
I think Chris Farley technically was Shrek. That was his last movie. It was Almost Heroes, 1998.
Almost Heroes. Okay.
It's the two explorers that are racing Lewis and Clark.
Oh.
Yeah. And it is as awful as you think it is. It has Eugene Levy in it, but that's okay. It's also got Bookham Woodbine, who's the guy that they always mistake for Dave Chappelle. And just a bunch of people. Anyways, my point being, Lewis and Clark, the game, it's an old game.
Yeah.
It's already got a second edition. It's got Vincent Dutrait artwork on it. It's from Asmodee and Ludonat. And what I want to bring up about this is that back when I was getting more into hobby board games back in, I think it was 2015, this was one of the first Euro games I purchased.
So when me and you met, you were just getting back into it. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I was on the cusp of it. And it
2013 when it came out.
So 2014, 2015, I purchased it. Tried to learn it, sold it promptly. because it was really too much for me. And now, strangely enough, purchased it again at last BGG, put it on my shelf, never looked at it. And today, broke it out, set it up, and played it without any problems whatsoever. And really, I not to review the game or anything, I'm just really talking about my experience in how one becomes so accustomed to the various mechanisms in Euro games and other types of games that you just get to where you just kind of know. Like you realize very quickly how this plays. And you can kind of foresee the issues with the game and so forth. I found that to become quite an interesting little foray into how one progresses as a board game entrepreneur. That's not right. What do you call somebody who's an acolyte of board game? Like you advance. What do you call that? Like you're a person who's advancing.
Student?
Yeah, we'll call that a student of board gaming. I like that. Yeah, basically you're learning how to not just play games, but also you see the similarities in each, and it just becomes easier to pick up more complex games. I find that to be interesting. Anyways, and I taught you this game very quickly.
Yeah, I'd say 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah, it was very quickly. And
I absorbed it very quickly.
And
I'm quite the hero.
And away we went.
And starting off, of course, we went backwards a few times. And then as we got the idea of the game, the gist, as some say, or gist, depends on how you might say it.
Nobody says that. I've never heard that till just now.
You don't think so?
Nobody says the gist.
It's a G.
The gist?
You say GIF or GIF?
No, you don't say gist. Nobody says that.
Somebody could.
No, that's not somebody could.
It might be a hard G.
But I'm saying there is nobody out there.
Get out of here.
There's only one hard G, and that's me. And there is nobody out there saying gist.
An OG.
Like gist.
It could be a hard
like
G.
Gist, this is right.
You got the gist of it.
No.
So, it's a racing game. Everybody knows that by now. And if you're brand new to board gaming, maybe you've passed this one up because it's old by board gaming standards.
It's very old.
11 years old at this point.
Old as dirt.
You could have played this game when it came out, had a child, and that child would be 11 years old.
That's exactly what happened. I have an 11-year-old child. I did. That's exactly what happened. Are you speaking of me?
It is you.
It is me.
It is you I speak of.
Oh, I am the man.
You are the man. So, this game, it has some, so there's the issues that people have come to have with it.
There are Indians / Native Americans / Native, indigenous peoples, and they are represented as red meeples. And shut up and sit down thought that was racist. A lot of people
they've done away with the Washington Redskins.
Did they fix that in the second
Because
edition?
was that some sort of, I'm speaking out, I'm going to leave it to you, a card-carrying member of the Choctaw tribe. Is redskin a derogatory term?
Depends on who you ask. For instance, here recently, the Native American or the Indian, like I thought that was like, well, I'm getting them confused, but Indian was like a thing of what you didn't use, but then again, there's somebody else that's like, no, they've embraced it. This is what you do. I'm like, so it doesn't. I don't know. You just have to ask.
Who couldn't keep up with the PC-ness of it all because it flip flops yearly?
You tell me what you want to be referred to as.
I'll call you whatever you want me to call you.
A hero. You shall call me a hero.
Not you specifically.
Oh.
I'm talking about a whole broad spectrum of people.
Well,
that share a similar trait.
The spectrum of Jerry.
Not a trait.
My heroism, I wish to be called.
If you acted with a group of heroes in a heroic manner by the terms your wife has set forth, then I guess I could call you a hero.
She's uptight. She don't know what she's
Other than that, you're just looking for adrenaline.
I am not. Do I look like an adrenaline junkie? Really?
No, you do not, actually. You look like the IT guy that fixes our computers on Thursdays.
He's a hero in his own way.
Just unplug it.
He's a hero
plug it back
in his
in.
own way.
Hit the reset button.
It's got a weight of 3.3. Who would have thought?
But I did like the way this game kind of progresses as you get your cards that you're needing to go up the river in a faster fashion. And the combination that you have, like you can play cards to do actions, and you can also set out the workers on the board to do actions. And I liked the way it worked. I liked this game quite a bit for an older game.
Yes, I did too. I was shocked by it.
I was
It is
surprised.
showing its age, but I greatly enjoyed this game because it has that nice push-pull aspect of you can't just hoard resources. You want exactly the amount of resources to get you where you need to go. You need the exact type cards, sort of like a pseudo deck builder where you're trying to get rid of some of the cards you don't need or use them to kind of power your other cards, which are all like 56, I think, different explorers. And they all got a name and a little bit of history behind them. So like Vincent Dutrait is the hero of this game. This dude had to do, that's a lot of art.
It's a lot of history
Artists
to look up.
are underappreciated. I wish I was an artist because that would just add to my heroism. But I am not. Alas, I cannot even barely draw. But people who can do just that abstract artwork.
If we're going to let breakdancing in the Olympics, why not drawing?
Why not?
Or painting?
Why not? Speed painting.
I don't understand
Everybody
the breakdancing
takes
in
an
the Olympics.
Adderall. You got 30 minutes to paint something.
David Allen also mentioned on our Discord a couple of weeks ago that he agreed with you 100%. He said he had almost the exact same discussion about drafting people from whichever country you're in, and you have 4 years to train for this event, and just put them all against
Get
each
them out
other.
there. Get them out there. And they're just to show how hard some of these things are. It'd be great. We should do that.
It would be interesting, but probably not as compelling.
I hope they do pickleball.
Because okay, everybody loves, the random fail, but I don't want to see somebody getting out there hurting themselves, and that's what's going to happen.
No, maybe pole vaulting.
You want to see an elite athlete in peak form doing heroic things with their body.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to see. Would you want to see me in 100-yard dash?
Yes.
Or Noah Lyles?
You might clutch it.
Yeah, it's just
You might clutch it. That someone might fall.
That's
That's how the Jamaicans have a bobsled team. Is that one guy tripped the others? That could be how you won.
You're not
going
to fill a stadium sending Gabi Moraga to the Olympics, and I've been training for 4 years.
Yes, they would.
No,
Because
they
if the chance of you might doing decent, that's what gets people excited. Nobody remembers anything about the Olympics or who won gold.
Yeah, they do.
But the people who steal the show is the dude with his hands in his pocket shooting the gun and the French
Noah
pole
Lyles
vaulter.
shows up for the 200, and apparently they leaked this. I don't know why they call it leaked. There's cameras everywhere, people with phones everywhere. It's not leaked, but he come out for the 200 super pumped. He was being very braggadocious in a typical Noah Lyles manner. But
I don't know him.
He's the guy that won the 100 meter. Yeah, I don't know. I keep going meters, 100-yard dash. 100-yard dash, is that what they call it?
I don't know.
I don't think they call it
I
that.
don't think they do yards.
Maybe it is meter.
Kilometers.
The 100
meter.
The 100 meter, but a yard is very similar to a meter.
It's almost exactly the same.
Okay.
But that's an American thing.
Okay, the 100-yard dash is American.
Get out my yard.
So, but then after he lost in tremendous fashion, he came in third.
That's still good.
It's still good, but he was very braggadocious that he was going to win. So then he was acting very sick afterwards and said he had COVID and all this other stuff. But people were saying he was very braggadocious in the beginning. Just right up until they shot the gun. But then when he lost, he was like, "Oh yeah, I don't feel so good."
COVID.
I think they actually wheeled him out of there on a wheelchair.
That's what I would do.
Is it on a wheelchair or in a wheelchair?
In a wheelchair. Well, or on. You could be in and on it.
You're sitting
You're
on
encompassed in the said chair.
Within it.
I would have fallen down.
Couldn't get up.
As soon as, and laid there until someone drugged me off. And as soon as I woke, as soon as they smell and salts me or whatever back at the ICU, because that's where they'd have to take me. I'll be like, my parrot just died. or
Willie!
Willie! Free Willie! And something. I don't know. I didn't watch that story. I was too enthralled with the breakdancing ray gun. I am the ray gun of board game podcasting.
I think board game snobs with a ray gun.
She didn't get 1 point.
Nobody cares.
But she was great in her own.
Everybody loves her, though.
That's it. Nobody loves her. It's not love.
Okay.
Everybody
found her interesting.
It's interesting to watch. What
humorous.
Look like just a random person that Australia's like, she can break dance. And nobody thought to check it out. They just said, we don't have anybody.
Who doesn't enjoy watching a but that's not a good phrase. I don't want to see a train wreck because that could cause extensive
Everybody
damage and harm.
Loves watching somebody else cringingly
Sure.
fail, because we all know deep down we've done the same thing, and it's like, welcome to the I haven't. I don't remember when I have failed because I have too many memories of my heroic actions. But neither here nor there. I've never tried to break dance, and I'm sure this ray gun could out break dance me. So thus,
Popping and locking.
I enjoy watching her do her thing, and I'm glad that fun time was had by all.
And Lewis and Clark is a good game. If you want to check out an oldie but goodie, I think it's worth a shot. Board Game Snobs thinks it's worth a shot.
Yeah, what do we know?
What do we know?
I know I'm going to be at the Dice Tower Retreat soon. Couple weeks. The 28th. So if you're going to be at the Dice Tower...
You will be at the Dice Tower a week after this episode.
Yes. So if there's any questions, concerns, send me an email. I'll try to live stream something. I might try to shoot an episode while I'm there.
Quit pulling the microphone to and fro away from your mouth.
I like to do that because you remember that lady.
We don't want Doppler. I don't need that. She sang
at the is that what they call it, Doppler? They sang at the Super Bowl. It's like,
well, they're doing it strategically to not blow out everybody's eardrums when they hit the forceful notes.
Well, I am too. I'm about to say Dan Hughes, Dan Hughes, or yeah.
Well, I hope a week from now you're having a good time.
I will. I'll be thinking of you.
Until then,
I wonder if Dan will shave his head.
So
that way he'll remind me of you.
His head? Oh, well, you could ask him.
Say, Dan, please shave your head.
Let go of those remnants. Accept your losses.
Oh,
shave it off.
Is his head going? Is he going bald?
Well, he is. He's like me.
Bald.
He's like me.
Really?
Yeah.
Has he got a beard? He's got a beard.
Yes. He could very easily look a lot like me. He might have to dye his beard a little bit.
I wonder if he'll just spout some bad puns while we play games. And
he might very well.
It's just him.
He might very well. All right.
This could work out.
This could work out. Until next week's episode, when you will have an episode, but Jerry will be at Dice Tower Retreat. And
we'll record it ahead of time.
I'll be working my Monday through Friday 8 to 5 job.
Good for you.
Getting cursed at for not allowing certain customers to have their repairs fixed because it doesn't meet the guidelines of the contract. I can't help you, sir. Until then, I'm Gabi.
This is Jerry.
Thank you for tolerating this episode of the Board Game Snobs. Stay classy.